The NBA playoffs are here. They have arrived. And Colin gave his predictions earlier in the week, and I am going to give mine right now. So let's get started in the East. The first round, the Heat are going to play the Hawks or the Cavs. I don't think it matters. They are going to advance past either of those teams. They led the NBA in three-point percentage, have the best record in the East. Best bench scoring in the NBA. Tyler Hero is probably going to win Sixth Man of the Year. And they are 20-12 against the top 10 teams in the East. I think they will win this convincingly. I'll give it a gentleman's sweep to be kind, but they are going to move past whoever comes out of the play-in game tonight for the Hawks or Cavs. Next is the Sixers and the Raptors. I'm going to take the Sixers in this matchup. I think Joel Embiid is the MVP. They have the two best scorers on the court, obviously, in Embiid and Harden. The Raptors don't have anyone over 6'9" on their roster, so I don't know who's going to slow down Embiid either. I like the Raptors. They are a great regular season team. They are well coached. They are well run, but I think the Sixers move past the Raptors in the first round. Bucks and Bulls, I think this is an easy one. The Bucks went 4-0 against the Bulls, an average win coming by 15 points. The Bulls have really struggled down the stretch. They've 8-15 records since the All-Star break, and they are 1-14 against the top four teams in the Eastern Conference this season. So I'm going to take the Bucks over the Bulls convincingly. This might be a sweep. The Nets and Celtics. Now, this is a very interesting one. I'm going to take the Nets, but I think this is a very long series. I also think that the Celtics are a regular season team, but the Nets did beat the Celtics in 5 games in the first round in last year's playoffs. We know how that goes. They're very reliant on Jason Tatum, and they are not a great clutch team. The Celtics aren't. 13-22 in clutch time games this season. That's the second worst in the NBA, and we know what KD does when the game is on the line. So I'm going to take the Nets over the Celtics. Moving on to the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. The Heat and the 76ers. I'm going with the Heat. Bam Adebayo is an excellent defensive player. I think he and Embiid will have some battles, but I like Adebayo in that spot. Harden has also been struggling recently. While I don't think he'll have much of a problem in the first round, I do think that this will show up against a good defensive team and a great bench team in the Heat. And again, the Sixers are extremely reliant on Embiid. They have the worst bench scoring in the NBA since the Harden trade. So it's really, really star reliant in Philadelphia. I think the Heat move on. The Bucks and the Nets. Bucks went 3-1 against the Nets in the regular season. I don't try to get too much into that unless it's really blowouts every single time they're matched up. But they have improved their defense, have the Bucks, since adding Brook Lopez. The Nets don't have a lot of chemistry, as we know. They have the most different starting lineups by any team this season. They are extremely reliant on KD. I think the Bucks are a championship-level team. Obviously, they are the reigning champs, and I think they will move on past the Nets. So now, we have the Eastern Conference Finals. Who do we go with? Do we go with my Miami Heat or the defending champ Milwaukee Bucks? I'm going with the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
I am going with the Heat over the Bucks. The Heat are seeking revenge, obviously swept by the Bucks in the first round last season. Giannis actually averages his fewest points per game, 18.2 in his career, against the Heat. So this is a tough matchup for Giannis. I am going with my Miami Heat to advance out of the Eastern Conference. No shocker there. All right, into the Western Conference. The Suns will be playing either the New Orleans Pelicans or the Los Angeles Clippers. They will make quick work of whoever comes out of this play-in game. Suns are the best team in the league, a very complete team. They're playing great. They're healthy. They're going to move on very quickly in this matchup. Now, the Jazz and the Mavs. This is really interesting because Luka is dealing with a calf injury. He's not going to play game one. He might not come back at any point during the series, depending on how severe it is. I personally wouldn't even push Luka to come back. We saw how damaging that could be with Kevin Durant in Golden State. I think it's extremely risky. Obviously, it's the playoffs, but the Mavs have never advanced past the first round of the playoffs with Luka Doncic. You don't want to push him and have a tragedy. I think that the Jazz will win this matchup. I would have taken the Mavericks if Luka was healthy, but I'm going to go with the Jazz in this matchup. The Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. This is going to be an amazing first round series. I cannot wait to watch this. The Grizzlies are the second best record in the NBA, number one defensive ranking. since the All-Star break. These are the two youngest teams in the league. This is going to be an amazing matchup, but I'm going to go with the Grizzlies in this one. And the Warriors over the Nuggets. The Warriors led the NBA in defensive rating this season. Jordan Poole is having a breakout season, and they're just extremely reliant on Nikola Jokic. There's some talk that Jamal Murray may come back. They're still without Michael Porter Jr. They just don't have enough, so I'm going to go with the Warriors in that matchup to advance into the second round. So, Suns and Jazz. I'm going with the Suns. They rank top 3 in both offensive and defensive efficiency. The Jazz have never advanced past the first round of the playoffs since Mitchell joined the team in 2017. They lost 7 of their last 11 games. They're not going to have enough for the Suns. The Suns are going to win that matchup. The Warriors, I believe, will win over the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are one of the youngest teams in the NBA, average age of 24.4 years old. Ja Morant is obviously spectacular, but he is returning from injury. I think the Warriors are just deeper. They have more veterans. They've been here before. I do think that the Grizzlies are 1 year away, but I don't think it's this year, and I'm going to take the Warriors in that spot. So the Western Conference Finals will be the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors. I am taking the Suns here. I just think the Suns are the most complete team in the West. They're great top to bottom, great bench, great coaching. Monty Williams has done an amazing job with them, and I just feel like it's their year to make it to the finals again. The Warriors' big three also have only played 11 minutes together this season. So they're not coming in running things as they usually are. So I'm going to go with the Suns to advance out of the Western Conference, which means my NBA Finals matchup is the Phoenix Suns and the Miami Heat. And I bet you guessed it. No, I'm going with the Miami Heat. Miami Heat are going to win the championship.
Say it loud and proud.
Heat is on.
Sing it loud and proud, I should say.
Listen, here's the one thing I'll say about the Miami Heat. All the statistics and all the, banter aside, they love being the underdog. The number 1 team in the East, and everyone is writing them off. It is the perfect position for them to be in. I love it. Well coached, well run, deep bench, full culture capacity in Miami. Everyone is locked in. Everyone enjoys their roles. I'm going with the Miami Heat to win the championship.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.